afternoon, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're really pleased to have everybody here and really proud to be able to give an introduction to our new small business banking platform. So our intention here today is give you a brief tour, make sure that you know what the features are and how you can use them, how they can benefit your business or your organization, and make sure that you know the resources that you've got available. So my name is Marlene Bluin. I'm the Manager of Enterprise Risk and Project Management. I'm going to be leading you through the tour today. And with me today, I've got Pam Kasturki, and she is going to be managing our question and answers. So throughout the presentation, she will be watching for questions, and we'll make sure that we get those taken care of. So at the end of the presentation, we'll cover questions and answers, but please do send them in throughout the presentation, and we'll make sure that we get to them. So a couple of housekeeping things for us today before we get started. You will have a question and answer pane in your presentation. So it'll be just on the right-hand side. You should see a small chat box. If you click on that and open it, the Q&A piece will open. And then just down here at the bottom, you can type a question in and we'll get it, and we'll be able to get that answered for you at the end of the presentation. So the recording for the presentation will be available afterwards. All you'll need to do is follow the link that you got to join the meeting, and you'll be taken to a recording so that you can watch it again if there's anything you missed and you want to check it out. So to start, what is small business banking? It is a layer that we've added to our classic online banking, and really what it's done is it's optimized online banking so that our small business and our organization members can really use it to suit their needs specifically. It includes some specific features for those members. So that's delegate management, dual transaction approval, consolidated accounts, and we also have an invoicing service available. And we'll go into each of those as we get into the presentation. So first things first, we want to go how to log into small business banking, make sure that you get to the right spot. So you want to go to our website, and that's lakeviewcreditunion.com or lvcu.ca. The screen that you can see up is our homepage. When you're on our website, you're just going to click this login button in the top right corner, and it's going to take you to our online banking login page. And so what you'll see is down here, there's an small business online banking login. This yellow button, that's the one you want to click, and it will take you there. If you are doing this on your mobile phone, when you log in, when you click the login button, you might notice a slightly different login page. This is what it'll look like. This is just a snapshot on a mobile phone. And what you can do is you can go to where it says desktop version right there, and that'll take you to the full site, but it'll be on your mobile phone. So no matter where you are, you can access it. And if you're using a mobile phone as well, it'll also give you a link to download the app, and it'll take you to the appropriate app store so that you can make sure that you get the right app for small business banking so that you can use it. So when you click the login page, this is what you're going to see. It's going to look very similar to our old online banking platform, and you're going to log in. So when you sign up for small business online banking, you're going to get issued a very specific set of credentials, and you'll have to contact the branch to get set up with the small business banking features. And when they do, you'll give you this number, and you'll notice that there's a P in that login number. Make sure that that P is entered and that it's entered as a capital. It is case sensitive. So if you're having login issues, make sure that you put that P in there so that it captures it properly. The access code, you'll put that in. Again, when you get signed up, you'll get temporary credentials given to you, and then you'll be prompted to update your own secure password and set up your security questions. And so when you log in, initially, the platform will look very similar to your classic online banking until you get some more things set up for your business and go through some of the features and get those accessed for you. So on the left-hand side is just our basic online banking navigation menu. And most of these features are exactly the same as what you've been used to. If you've used our online banking in the past, many of these stay the same. So you've got your My Accounts menu, which will show you a summary of your accounts. It's also where you can view e-statements. We have the payments menu, which is where you can go if you want to pay bills. add or change bill payees, or if you want to pay business taxes. Those are the options available for you there. The transfers menu is the same. So if you're wanting to transfer between accounts, if you're wanting to send e-transfers, those options are there. The other options that are available here are account services. And again, this is a classic menu. And this is where if you want to do a stop payment or you want to sign up for CRA direct deposit for your business, those are the account service options there for you. Messages and alerts. So alerts I will go into further, but this is where you can set them up. This is an opportunity for you to customize your online banking to make sure that you're getting the information that you want out of it. Profile and preferences. This is where you can change your personal access code or change security questions if you want to do that. So to get started, I'm going to show you the dual approval feature of small business online banking. And so dual approval is if your small business or your organization requires 2 signatures. So if you need 2 signatures to sign checks, then you're going to be using the dual approval feature. And I'm going to show you a transfer just so that you can see what it does. And so basically what happens is one signer will come in and initiate the transaction and provide an initial approval. Then a second signer has to log in and approve the transaction. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to choose to transfer from a business checking. I'll just do a little one. And I'm going to go to my own account. And in this case, I'm going to just put it to the savings account for the business as well. And so you'll always get a confirmation. No matter what you're doing, you'll always get an opportunity to confirm. So you can change anything if you want to. If you needed to make changes, you can just hit this cancel button. I'm going to confirm that. And so now I've got this transfer funds receipt. You'll get a similar receipt regardless of the type of transaction you're doing. It gives me details of the transaction that I've done, and it has this note here at the bottom that says the transaction has been created and it requires approval by January 19th. And so that basically the system will give you 1 week to have somebody else come in and approve the transaction. Otherwise, it will archive it and expire it. And if you want to do it, it'll have to be recreated again. So the one thing I wanted to call your attention to specifically with dual approval is the alerts piece. And because what will happen is there's obviously an opportunity for those transactions to get missed. How do you know that you need to go in and approve a transaction? Each signer can come into the alerts, and there are 2 specific alerts here for small business banking: transaction pending approval and transaction about to expire. So you can come in and you can hit get started. I would encourage you to set both of those up. If you hit get started, it'll walk you through. It's going to ask you to accept the agreement for using alerts because it is using your email or your cell phone. Put in your preferred contact method, one or both. And then if somebody initiates a transaction that needs your approval, you'll get an email or a text message, whichever one you set up. So it's just an easy way to keep on top of those transactions. If you're the other signer and you need to come in and approve a transaction, when you log in, what you'll see is these alerts right at the top of your login screen. So they're front and center so you don't miss them. There's 3 sections: transactions that require your approval, transactions that require approval from others, and transactions that have been rejected or expired or recalled. And so to approve a transaction, I can just click this hyperlink here. It'll take me right to the transaction that I need to approve. I can also go to the business services menu, and the business services menu takes me to what we call the transaction manager. And it shows me again a list of transactions that either need my approval, that I've requested approval from somebody else, or if there's transactions that have expired or are recalled. So in this case, I set up a transaction to approve before. I need to go in and approve this transaction. I can just hit approve or reject. If I hit reject, it's going to give me an opportunity to put a note, and I can also approve the transaction. And I'm going to hit approve so you can see the confirmation on that. And again, you always get an opportunity to confirm or cancel what you're doing. And so here it now shows that the transaction status is completed because there has been 2 approvals on it. So if I go back to Transaction Manager, it gives me a quick link here to do that. I can see here that there is a transaction that I've sent for approval, so I've created this. On any transaction on this list, I can hit Show History, and it'll show me a list of the activity that's happened, so I can see who created it, who's approved it. If I sent this transaction for approval, I created it, I have an option to recall it, which means I basically cancel the transaction. And so if somebody has gotten an alert to cancel it, when they log in, there just won't be a transaction there for them to approve. So if I hit recall, it will cancel the transaction and it'll move it down here into this rejected, recalled, or expired transactions. If something has expired or something has been recalled and you need to create a similar transaction, you can use this Create Similar Transaction button and it'll take you to the transaction screen, whether that's a bill payment or a transfer, and it'll help you create that similar transaction. It just saves a step in navigation. So the next thing I want to show you is delegates. And so delegates are people that you can set up with access to your small business or your organization account who aren't account signers. So they aren't people who would be signing checks normally or who would have permission to change anything on the account, but you want them to be able to either look at statements or initiate transactions on your behalf, probably a bookkeeper or an accounts payable clerk, a spouse possibly, anything like that. So a delegate only has access to accounts that you specify for them to see, and they only have the capability that you specifically give them. So to add a delegate, I go to Business Services, and then I go to this Add or Modify Delegates menu option. And so each signer on a business account who's set up for small business online banking has the ability to add their own delegates. So if a business account has 3 check signers who have small business online banking, each of those people can add up to 3 delegates of their own. The signer who created a delegate is the only one who can edit it. So they're the only ones who can change that delegate's personal information or password. But any signer can delete a delegate that has been created by somebody else. So if you're going to add, you have the option, you can hit Add Delegate. I'm going to edit this one because I know there's some information in there to show. But you would just hit Add, fill in the information. The screens look the same. The other note about delegates is that as a credit union, we don't have any knowledge of the delegates that you've set up. Because they're not signers on the account, their personal information and their relationship to you and your business are confidential between you and them. And so delegates are strictly managed by the business signers. And so we aren't able to go in and reset their access or make any changes to those delegates for you. So just an important piece of information to keep in mind. So when you're adding a delegate or editing a delegate, this screen looks the same. You'll notice they each have their own unique member number, and this is the member number that they need to sign in. They will get an email after you've added them, 2 emails actually, one that has the member number and one that has their temporary password. You can change their status to active or inactive. You can change their access level to read only, which is just as it implies. All they can do is look at the accounts. They can't do anything with them. They can't initiate transactions, or an initiator who can view the accounts and they can initiate transactions for you. So something to keep in mind, if an account requires 2 signatures for a transaction and a delegate creates a transaction, 2 account signers still have to approve it. If it's a single signer account and a transaction is created by a delegate, 1 account signer still has to go in and approve that transaction. So you can set up their password or change it. Whatever password you put in here for them will be temporary. They'll get a notification with that temporary password, and when they log in again, they'll be asked to change it to something that's secure for them. You put their personal information, first name, last name. There's a section for notes. So if there's any applicable information that you feel is important to have in here, you can put that in. So the most important part with delegates, and one of the common questions we've had, is what do our delegates see? So because we do have the feature called Consolidated Accounts, which I'm going to get to next, it's very possible that you might have another business account or a personal membership linked to your small business login. This is the area where you can change and set up what your delegates can see. If you only want that delegate to see your business account, the only account here that you would check is to share accounts under this membership. In this case, this is the business membership. This one down here is the personal membership that I have linked, and it's not checked because I don't want this delegate to see those accounts. And so that's the area where you can go to make sure that you've got control over what that delegate is able to see. So it's very, very specific. So the next part that I'm going to show you is consolidated accounts. You can see on this one, I've got a personal account added. And to access consolidated accounts, you go to Business Services and Manage Consolidated Accounts. So here you can consolidate up to 3 accounts. So in total, on one single small business login, you can see 4 accounts. The business that you're signing into, plus you can add 3 others. So 4 total. It gives you a count here of how many that you've got added. And it's as simple, if I want to add a consolidated account, I can do that here. If I want to remove one, I can take one away. So in this case, I do already have one added. But if you click Consolidate Account, what it's going to ask you to do is it's going to ask you to put in the member number and the password for the membership that you want to join to this account. And then it'll give you a confirmation that you've added that account. After you've added a consolidated account, when you log in, what you'll see is you'll see the accounts listed on your account summary screen. And so here when I log in, I've got membership, the first membership, which is my business. I've got the second membership, which is my personal, and it splits them out. I've got the option here to filter this view, so I can see all of the accounts. I can see just the business, just the personal. And then down here in the scheduled bill payments and scheduled transfers, it splits it out as well between the business and personal accounts. It would have a heading for all of the accounts that you have combined together for that single sign-on. So the last thing I want to show you is invoicing. So this is a very a great feature for small businesses and organization. It gives you the opportunity to have your invoicing and your billing for your clients built into your online banking, so it's a single sign-on. So to access invoicing, you would go to invoicing. It's a menu just right here on the left-hand side. And I'm just going to pop over to a different login just to show you on a different screen what invoicing looks like. So invoicing will allow you to create invoices, send invoices directly from your online banking. It's got a great matching feature which allows you to reconcile invoices, so it will match invoices that you've sent with deposits and incoming funds into your account to make that reconciliation a little bit faster. And you also have the opportunity to export all of this information so that you can put it into another bookkeeping system if that's what you want to do. So again, when you have invoicing set up and you've sent recent invoices, you'll see this section on the bottom on your account summary when you log in. It'll have a list of your invoices and a list of the status and the amounts and the dates on them. So you go to invoicing here, the menu on the left. And I'm just going to show you what you can set up when you do create an invoice. So it gives you an option to make sure that your business information is up to date, your name and your address. Gives you an opportunity to customize your logo. You can update memo information, so if there's specific payment information or terms, any type of information that you want to make sure all of those clients see, you can set that up so that it's configured for you. You can set up all of your tax settings. So if you're somebody who has GST you need to charge, or PST, or if you're in an industry where there's different taxes that need to be charged, you can do that as well. It has the ability to customize. So I'm just going to hit create invoice and just show you that quickly. So this one's already set up, but again, you can see where you can customize this information. Anything you hover over that has a gray outline, dotted outline, you can just click on to edit. I can remove this logo and add a new one. I add customers directly from the invoice screen. If I have old customer or existing customers, they're there, or I can hit add new customer and add them while I'm in the process of creating the invoice. The invoice number, if you've already got outstanding invoices and you want your invoices to stay sequential using this new service, just make sure that you put your invoice number in as the next sequential. If you're invoicing currently at number 500 and you want this one to be 501, put that first number in here at 501 and it'll continue on numbering them properly for you. So it's just as easy as listing your product and service, adding the price, the quantity. You can apply tax if you want to. It'll do all the math for you. You can add lines. So if there's multiple products or services that have been sold, you can add them. If there's a discount applicable, you can discount an invoice by either a % or a dollar figure. I can come down here and put in the terms, and it'll update the payment due date for the invoice. This is the memo section. If you had specific payment details on how you wanted people to remit payment to you, you can put it in there. And then you have the option, you can cancel it. If you decided you don't need to send it, you can save it as a draft, which means it'll be saved. You'll have the opportunity to go back and edit it, or you can preview and send it. And what it'll do, I'm just going to put this in here. So preview and send. No, it doesn't like my invoice number. Give me 1 second. So you'll have 3 options. You can save it and print it. It'll give you the opportunity to save a PDF copy. You can send it as an email. It'll send an email with a PDF attached directly to the email address for the customer that you've got on file. Or you can use the send and request money service, which is through the Interac e-transfer. And what will happen is the recipient will receive the invoice along with an Interac e-transfer request money request. And if they choose to fulfill it, they'll fulfill that e-transfer and you'll get that payment back. So it's an opportunity to collect payment much quicker. And then on your invoicing dashboard, what you'll be able to see is you'll be able to see recent invoices and year-to-date invoices. It'll give you a quick summary of the amounts. You'll also be able to see a list of your invoices, search for them, filter them, and then you'll also be able to do invoice matching, which again, as I talked about, I don't have any deposits on this test account. But if you sent an invoice for $500 and you then subsequently receive a deposit or a credit for $500, when you log in, you'll get a message that says there's possible invoice matches, and it'll give you an opportunity to review them. And if they are in fact a match, you just hit match and it will reconcile that invoice. It'll change it to paid and it'll associate those 2 transactions so that it's easy to reconcile going forward. Down here, it'll show you the status of all your invoices. If you click on actions, you can copy it, you can cancel it, unmatch it. This one I had matched to a partial payment, so I can unassociate them if I've made a mistake, or I can manually apply a payment. Maybe we did a batch deposit with a whole bunch of checks and I need to manually apply a payment. That can all be done within this platform. Invoicing, every business gets a 30-day free trial. So the first time you use it, you'll be asked to start that free trial. If you choose to continue using it, it's $5 a month, and that's unlimited invoicing. There's no cap on the invoicing that you can do with that. So that's a quick overview of invoicing. I'm just going to show you now just some resources for small business online banking. There's a lot of features there. There's a lot that it can do. On our website, there is, if you go to our login page, just 1 second for this to load, we've got quite a few resources on here. We've got a frequently asked questions. These are questions that we've had come up often that people are usually interested in. And so right underneath the login button, there's this frequently asked questions section. And if you open that up, if you're having issues with access or delegates, consolidated accounts, whatever it might be, there's a section with a list of questions. So you can hopefully get a quick answer if you need it. We also have this link here. It says how to get started. If you open that, it's going to take you to this how to get started PDF. So this is just a quick start guide. It's like a very brief overview of each of the features and a very quick step-by-step for how to get started with it. We also have our user guide. So this is a detailed document that you can use as a reference for using MemberDirect Small Business. This is what it looks like. It's quite lengthy. It's over 40 pages long, but it's very detailed. So depending what you want to do, if I want to add a delegate, I can click on the link here to add a delegate. It'll take me to that section in the manual. It gives me a step-by-step how to do it. It's got snapshots from online banking so that I know what I'm looking at and what it should be looking like as I work through it. As always, if you need support, you can contact us, and we encourage you to do that. If you go to our Contact Us page, this is what it looks like. There's an opportunity for you to email. It's got all of our branch information so that you can call us or come in, and we'll be happy to help you make sure that you are using it and that it's working for you and you've got the answers you need. I mentioned earlier that you do have to get set up to use small business online banking. We have to make sure that our systems are set up to allow the people for the access to the appropriate features and make sure that you get that unique login information. You can phone us, you can email us, you can come in and we can get you set up. We do have an online option as well. If you click here to get set up, this is going to open an online form. It's going to ask you to put in the signer information and the contact information. It'll get securely emailed to us and we'll follow up with you and help you get set up and get you all the credentials that you need. And so I'm just going to open it up for questions. It's a lot of information. It's a very complex product. There's a lot of features there. I know this is a very high level overview, so we do want to answer some questions. And so if there's any there, I encourage you to send them in, use that chat box, and we will do our best to answer these questions for you. So one of the questions that we have here is, so if you're a two-signer account for checks, do you have to have two signers to transfer funds online? Or can you set it up so only one person can transfer? If your account does require two signatures to sign checks, we do have to set it up so that it is two signatures to sign for online banking transactions. And the reason for that is because there's often underlying account bylaws or articles that dictate how those accounts have to be managed. And so we have to make sure that we are setting it up in accordance with that. So if there's any other questions, I'm going to give it a little bit of time here so that people have an opportunity to get them sent in to us. We've got a couple minutes before we hit the 12:30 mark. I know everybody's busy, and so I want to be respectful of everybody's time. If you've got questions that we don't get to, or if they come up after, again, we'll have that recording that you can go back to and watch if you want. You can go to any of those resources that I showed you online. You can also give us a call. If there's anything else, we're happy to help you out. Just taking a look here to see if we've got a question. So, is small business online banking replacing my existing online banking? That's a really great question. The answer is no. So if you've got online banking for your business already, you can continue to use those credentials and use that login. You can use the small business online banking link until you come in and see us and get set up and get those unique credentials. You just won't have access to the new business banking features. But we wanted to make sure that nobody was left without any online banking. Your personal online banking is also separate. So you can consolidate your personal account with your business online banking and be able to see both. You can still use your personal online banking independently if that's what you'd like to do. And so once consolidated, can you transfer between the consolidated business members? And are you able to put a personal profile under the business profile and then do transfers? Absolutely. So the intent of this is to make sure that this is easy. And when we talk about the single sign-on, that's exactly what it's intended to do. So if you have, I'm just going to pull it up and show you here on the presentation. If you've got a business account and a personal account consolidated, when you're doing, you can see both here. When I'm doing a transfer, it'll actually split the accounts up the same way. So when I want to go transfer from, here I can pick the membership number. It splits the accounts out, so I can pick if I want to transfer from a business to personal. And then when I pick the to account, I have the same option on the other side to pick which membership and then which account within that membership I want to transfer to. So you absolutely can do business between business and personal accounts. So there is a question about e-transfers and limits for e-transfers. So this is not a new system for e-transfers. E-transfers will still work with the same operating limits that we've had in place. Those haven't been changed. Those are managed under a separate platform. And so our e-transfer limits haven't changed. Let me just take a look here. So we are at, we're a couple minutes past 12:30, and I want to make sure that we're respectful of everybody's time. We will stay on for a couple minutes, so if you do have questions, you can send them in. But what we'll do is I encourage you to reach out to us. If you do still have questions or you're looking for more information, please get in touch with us. We're happy to help. We want to get you this information. We know that this is an offering that we feel can bring a lot of value to our businesses, and so we want to make sure that we are getting you that information. So thank you very much to everyone who joined us today. We certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and thank you, and hopefully we'll be in touch. Take care.